but it's amazing, dude. You get to talk to founders, right? You talk to like three to like 7 founders per day, and they have like wildly crazy ideas. So that was mission accomplished, right? My senior year was like quite well. Come my senior year, I specifically chose that I'm gonna only have classes on Monday and Tuesday morning. So I have like a 5-day weekend. I just didn't want to do anything, to be honest, right? After like 3 years of living in the high lane / fast pace.
Yeah.
So, but then I realized that I have that gap, a bit of gap, right, between when I actually going to finish college and start Bain. So I decided to reach out to a friend, or former boss. He was back then when I was a sophomore. He was a double degree student at Harvard HKS and Wharton. So MBA, MPA student. He's French Algerian, I think, but he was working at Gree Ventures back then. It was a venture capitalist. His wife's Indonesian. So I hit him up. I'm like, hey man, I'm looking for an internship. Do you guys have any slots? He's like, yeah, I can put you for an interview. So I did a formal process. I interviewed with both the principals, and I landed the job at Gree. So Gree no longer exists now. It sort of rebranded itself as Strive. But back then, Gree Ventures was a venture capital arm of Gree Media. Gree Media is a Japanese video game company. So they make sort of like Final Fantasy-like games, and they want to branch out of the sort of gaming sphere, right? So they want to invest in other companies, but gaming. Anyways,
I see.
So Gree, it was a very lean operation. It was only 2 people and myself.
Yeah.
Right? We were in Singapore. It was a very like startup-y setting.
It's as startup-y as it gets.
It's as startup-y as it gets. That's right. And I was basically tasked to cover Indonesia. And as the sole analyst, you basically do everything, right? You literally do the sort of like the end-to-end value chain of a VC, all the way from thesis creation to deal sourcing to doing the due diligence to making the decks for the investment committee, all the way to like portfolio optimization and whatnot, right? So that's sort of the end-to-end life cycle that I did. But it's amazing, dude. You get to talk to founders, right? You talk to like three to like 7 founders per day, and they have like wildly crazy ideas. Like some ideas are a bit more, run off the mill, plain vanilla, you could say, right? You want to make a marketplace for, I don't know, like pet food in Myanmar or something like that, right? Some of these people are like, I think the craziest I've seen, the craziest that I've heard was this one guy. He claimed to have invented a machine that could create perpetual source of energy.
Okay, that sounds a bit like snake oil.
Yes, it's like snake oil, right? But he has so much conviction, dude. So I'm not sure if he's actually like crazy enough to believe in his own idea, or he's trying to scam us.
Right.
So I was trying to, it was me and my other partner, my other boss, right? We're not meeting. We're trying to hold our laughter. At the moment we walked out of the meeting, I looked at my partner and be like, what if he's actually legit?
Like, did we just pass on $1 trillion deal?
Yeah, what if you missed $1 trillion deal? Anyways, so I haven't heard from him ever since. I guess that's a good thing for us. But we cover a lot of different industries, like agri-tech, fintech was a big thing in 2018. The e-commerce enablers, marketplace, and ride hailing and whatnot. We actually also looked at a couple of companies in Bangladesh, to be honest. More on the logistics side.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. It was a good time. Learned tons. I was only there for about 4 months.
Okay, so I do want to get a peek into some, like, if this is if you're allowed to talk about it. So like, what were some of the interesting, like, if you can remember some of the interesting pitches that you had from the Bangladeshi scene? Was it mostly in tech, or what was the wildest idea that you were pitched from the Bangladeshi market?
I'm trying to remember the name. So it was a logistic tech company. So what they do is basically they want to create a marketplace. Oh, it's called Lakbe.
Lakbe, okay.
Yeah, I'll write out for you. So basically what they do is they realize that supply chain and trucking in Bangladesh is very fragmented, right?
Yeah,
Hence they are trying to create a platform where they can centralize trucking, so basically providing solutions for both shipper and truck providers at the end of
I
the day.
see.
Like, that's the essential idea that they have. And this was one of the, I mean, dude, you hear like 200 pitches per
Right.
month. So
Yeah.
I forgot most of them, and it was just like 4 years ago. So this
Yeah.
was what stuck to my head. Like, I think they're doing quite well. Like, I just saw that IFC, the investment arm of the World Bank, is going to invest $2.5 million. Like, I think they're doing pretty well.
Nice.
There are a couple of like other similar. This business model is pretty much proven, right? There are bigger ones in Indonesia called Cargo, Shipper, and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so this was more interesting. One of the more interesting ones.
I like their logo. This is like they seem legit. Like they have a like a legit Crunchbase profile. Yeah, this is the first time this is on my radar. I definitely want to look into this a bit more, but thank you for,
They have,
like
I
bringing that
think
up.
they do have a pretty legit founding team. That's
Nice.
what we request, because if we were a pre-series A, no, pre-seed to Series A company, right? So we invest pretty early in
Yeah,
in terms of stage. So at the end of the day, like the biggest, yeah, the idea is important, traction is important, market's important, but the most important thing is a team for us back then, right?
interesting. Okay, this is David. There's so much vital information that's coming up that could spin off multiple arcs of conversations. I'm just trying to keep this all
Right.
in my head. And also, like,
Sure.
thank you for bringing up these stories, because it's letting me so cleanly put these callbacks that I want to make at some point in this conversation into the questions that I had planned for you. Yeah, but sorry, go on.
No, I was just about to say that you can always like at the end of the day, it's a two-way party, right? Like
Right.
two-way conversation. Once we invest our money, like you can't get rid of investors from your cap table, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So you
that's
do
true.
have to have that relationship with your founders, and you can always change an idea, right? But at the end of the day, it's a matter of who are these people who are executing the ideas.